Hey everybody, I know I haven't made a video in, quite some time. I think the last one was from last year. I do apologize for any noise. Unfortunately, I live where I work and people don't understand the need for inside voices. So if you hear any garbled murmuring or anything, it's probably that bleeding through the walls. As you can see, Nathaniel is still here. And I'm using my Prism sock bag. If you follow on the Instagram, you would have noticed a few posts about it. I've been slowly getting back into like sewing and bag making now that my hand strength is returning. And I just thought it'd be fun to make something that looked a little celebratory and shiny and, you know, just colorful. Anyways, sorry, I started to go into like a meditative space. So for those of you who don't know, I am actually based just outside of Portland, Oregon, not Maine. And man, I haven't done a YouTube video in quite some time, so I do apologize. I'm super duper rusty right now. I don't really have any whips or anything. This is more of like an intro video. I'm probably gonna scrap all the videos that are currently on the YouTube, attempting to be YouTube channel, and this will probably be video 1. I guess 2.0. So there's a lot going on. I have my hands in a lot of cookie jars. 2019, I was trying to start the fiber and supply portion of my home business with the goals, of course, of getting into a brick and mortar. Unfortunately, as I was saving up for that and a proper workspace, which would have given me studio space to host workshops and classes, Corona times hit. And of course, you know, those things came to a standstill. I also, let's see, Corona times hit, and then I couldn't get the space, and then I had a few other ideas, and then all of the restrictions hit. It's been nuts. In that time, for those of you who don't know me, we're gonna go ahead and take a quick segue journey. About 20 some odd years ago, I was having thyroid issues. I was in my late teens. I actually went to see multiple doctors to try to have things corrected. Unfortunately, no one wanted to listen to me at the time, and they basically wanted to just give me a blanket diagnosis without testing for it and then started treating me for it. I didn't know at the time, and unfortunately, fortunately, I was staying with a grandparent, but unfortunately, this grandparent was, you know, raised in a Depression era household, and, you know, doctors don't lie. And we all know that this is a lie. So anyways, they prescribed the incorrect drugs, never treated the initial problem, and then created multiple other problems for me physically and mentally as a side effect from that. So we're gonna just jump forward to like the last 4 years. In the last 4 years, I was not able to lose any more weight. For those of you who are new to the channel, I am a teacher of yoga. I was also trying to become a personal trainer, a certified personal trainer. So that way I could help people who are kind of in the same boat as me, because you can be fit and fat. And I know so many people health focused people might cringe, but unfortunately your mindset is unhealthy and you need to start educating yourself. I don't mean it as like an insult, it's just the truth. At my peak, I was teaching classes 6 to 8 hours a day, Monday through Saturday. I was also making time for workouts at the gym and getting 5 miles in daily with one of my best friends. And I was eating gluten-free and vegan and raw. on top of that. So my body was in a very streamlined pace. Unfortunately, though, that was not enough. And eventually I hit a huge plateau, and I still cannot get doctors to listen to me about my thyroid. I have hypothyroidism, and also about a lot of the other problems I was having due to the fact that other problems had been created, 16 years prior to that. So 4 years ago, I was starting to break out in hives and heat rashes for no apparent reason or cause. I could just be inside and it would happen. My anxiety started going through the roof because my body was not processing things correctly. I also was not, my body was not able to produce enough insulin to also control my blood sugar. For the most part, I was still eating very clean, and I was still working out, still trying to teach yoga actually, and my body just started failing. So in that time, though, we actually ended up moving up to Oregon to the PNW, and I went to go see another doctor. And when I told her everything that was going on, the only thing that was focused on was my blood pressure, whether or not I was diabetic, and I was told that maybe I should not consume so many tortillas and sweets. I did not ask for dieting advice. So that was met with a lot of patience for this doctor. Anyways, blood pressure came back fine. I ended up becoming diabetic over the course of the last year and a half. I actually, just to get taken seriously, I actually have a subscription to Weight Watchers, which is really stupid for me because I actually eat extremely clean. Most of my days are spent with excess points, if you're aware of how their point system works. And the plan that was recommended for me actually green lights most of the things I actually already enjoy, which is basically vegetables and high fiber fruits, and fish and seafood. I've had to incorporate meat back in, so now I'm more like vegetarian. It's probably about an 80-20 right now. Anyway, just the roundabout to that is at the end of December of 2020, I got a new doctor because I could not go forward with the one that I currently had seen. And the new doctor allowed me to get tested for all the things, and then also recommended me to a wonderful gynecologist. And he also did tons of tests, and on Christmas Eve, I had to go in for an ultrasound, and unfortunately, a giant mass was detected. So that was not the best Christmas gift I could have received last year, but it also was. After that, I actually had to go in for a CT scan. So that way they could really see what was going on. And then by February, I was having an emergency hysterectomy. My uterus, unfortunately, had been enlarged for many years. Just so that we can put some perspective on this, I got married in 2016, and we had 3 miscarriages. There was never any follow-up after the miscarriages, and actually some friends didn't even take me seriously, unfortunately, because it wasn't traumatic enough for them to believe that I had miscarried, which is really unfortunate. I had asked that gynecological team to please do ultrasounds or maybe even go in for like a DNR because something was really wrong. I was ignored, and once again, my blood pressure and my blood sugars and my weight were all used to dismiss me. Had they actually checked, they would have found that I had fibroids starting to grow into my uterus, and it was starting to enlarge because of this. So for the last 4 years, I have been about 4.5 months pregnant physically. My body stopped processing sugars correctly and stopped manufacturing insulin correctly because I was hemorrhaging every month. My periods were about 3 weeks out of every month, and they were super heavy. I was going through about 1.5 boxes of ultra tampons on top of a box and 1 to 2 boxes of overnight pads in a 3-week period. So very traumatic, lots of bleeding, constantly in a state of low blood sugar and then high blood sugar because like my body couldn't regulate. And oh no, sorry, my phone's being a phone and this is what I record on. My body was just in turmoil. I ended up severely anemic. I still have hypothyroidism, and I ended up diabetic because of this, and I had to lose my uterus. My uterus, like I said, was enlarged to about 4.5 months pregnant. And then on top of that, I had an infant-sized cyst sitting on top of my uterus, and then another like 2-inch free-floating cyst. They have no idea where it came from or why it was floating around my abdomen. So I've been like this. I've been working like this, working out like this, trying to diet so I'd be taken seriously so I could get real help. And now that this is gone, I'm going through all the efforts of trying to start my business and fulfill my goals and dreams. So I'm just giving you a little backstory because like right now, things look really flaky. I mean, I look flaky. And that's because my health every day is kind of a roller coaster still. I've been getting more active and working out, which of course is like throwing my blood sugar into like a death spiral. I'm not on insulin yet, which I'm grateful for just because like where I work and how often we're interrupted, it would be really hard to be on insulin right now. It would create more problems. So the medication I do have though has lately been giving me low blood sugar, unfortunately, and there's no real way for me to like absolutely correct it. So it's just been like this weird game. Unfortunately, the doctor who allowed me to get all the tests has now also joined the bariatric team, and I've never had weight loss pushed at me so much because she's not seeing the numbers that she wants for me to lose weight. But I'm almost down a whole dress size. My weight hasn't moved, but it's because I've gained muscle mass, I've lost fat, and I'm losing inches. I shouldn't have to explain that to a medical professional, but I do. And I'm gonna explain it to you guys too, because it's gonna be the only time that I really address this in the intro video. So, anyways, so with all that being said, if you end up going to the link in bio on Instagram, you'll see that I actually don't do anything on Facebook because Facebook is full of drama. And in all honesty, I just don't have the time for that. It's usually Instagram, and there is a Patreon. I'm trying to get the YouTube channel started. My husband and I usually, pre-corona times, we used to travel and hike a lot in the PNW and through the desert. It's always very nice, very lovely experiences. We used to go to fiber festivals with regularity, which is a real oddity. Maybe for he and I, because usually when we go, the community has not always been so welcoming. But 2020 and corona times have kind of peeled the band-aid off on that for most of you guys. So, you know, to address this now, my husband and I are both have indigenous heritages. I have family that has roots with Ute and also Chickasaw Nation, and I also have family. Well, I have genealogy. I've never met anyone. I'm kind of an orphan, like a modern day orphan. And so I also have cultural heritage based out of Norway, and as well as Ireland and Scotland and the Basque Country in Spain. If anyone knows anything about the Basque Country, they would know that they're like kind of a mountainous region, and actually the original indigenous people for Spain. So, so it's kind of neat. A lot of this influences how we travel and how we view the world. Unfortunately, my husband growing up in South Texas, and I in Southern California, as long as you are not white, you are Mexican. So that's always a fun conversation to be having with people. But just so that you know where our background comes from and what influences my design and my needs, it's actually mostly nature. It's always been nature inspired, and I've always had a draw to the fiber arts ever since I was a little kid, actually. So, you know, we can always delve into that. Those are all fun, new, exciting episodes. I just really want you guys to kind of get a feel for me. I'm not flashy. We're kind of homebodies right now, but you know, Corona times. And when we are busy, we try to keep it scenic and local and fun. Nothing too crazy or daunting. And now this year, like as I get fitter and regain my strength and my mental clarity, it's going to be even more fun, I think. It's not without its trappings. You know, you have anti-vaxxers, anti-maskers, there's some anti-something for my husband and I. Most days it's challenging, especially in the community that we live in. We're definitely part of the minority, but we're also like a sub-minority of the minority because we actually don't speak Spanish. And I don't know. Because we, for the most part, are what we would be called whitewash, unfortunately. So, you know, there's all kinds of little buckets going on in my everyday life, and all of it really does influence my design process and the art and whatnot that we gravitate towards. So, you know, I'm not saying that this is going to be the most exhilarating vlog. It's a vlog. It's not really a podcast anymore. It's a vlog. But I definitely will try. I will try to make this as safe a community as possible. Always willing to educate myself. There's not going to be any body shaming. If you actually do end up subscribing to the Patreon, you actually will get an emailed invitation to a private Instagram that I have that's specifically like for the holistic end and the yoga that I teach. It covers a broad range of things, but it's never like a forced diet, and it's never some kind of crazy fad. Like it's just not who I am. Even as an instructor, I've always gravitated towards like restorative yogas, chair yoga, you know, anything that's kind of like isolated, knee health, and a real basic hatha. Teaching in Texas actually kind of was like teaching hot yoga because it's humid and hot all the time, almost even in winter. And I don't think I ever really want to teach that again. If that's your jam, you are welcome to it. I'm hoping over the next couple of weeks, as I get more knee stability back, I want to take up roller skating again. So you guys will definitely be welcome to come and do that. Patreon members also get access to my patterns. You get access to the pattern at the $5 level and higher. It'll be a free PDF for you to download. And usually, like ideally, I would like to have at least one new pattern for you all every quarter before I release it to the Ravelry store and my PayHip. Just because, like, as a thank you, like you guys doing that would actually help me design more and benefit like from our knitting community. Right now I kind of fund all of it, and I mean, it's working, but not really. um, it would just be nice to have more faces like mine out here in the community. It would be nice to have more faces like mine and my husband's out at fiber festivals. We have a lot of other things that we like to do. I also have a Discord and a Twitch account. So if you're really into Animal Crossing, this might be your jam as well. I think every episode I would like to have one once a week, and I would definitely like to cover a broad range of things for you all. But then I would also most likely post more things to the Patreon account. Usually we post like recipes. Last year we went to a strawberry farm and I posted recipes to use those strawberries. We also did a lavender farm, and I had posted all kinds of fun stuff, like even how to make your own lavender flavored coffee creamer. So, you know, so those are there, and those are tools and thank yous for my Patreon community. Things have been, like I said, things have been like really irregular, and I'm definitely trying to get back into that mindset. Every day's a challenge. It really depends. Like this morning I woke up to severely low blood sugar and just everything aching, all my joints. Yesterday I woke up feeling amazing. So it really just depends on like my workload and like how much is going on here at the property. My husband's needs, my fur babies, Bruce and Louie. They're actually here right now, but I can't pivot this without waking them up and scaring the bejesus out of them. So probably not gonna do that. We try to keep it clean. I try really hard not to cuss. I'm really sorry if any of the previous content was a trigger warning. I'm gonna make sure to put that on all the posts that it's a trigger warning. I probably should have said at the start of the video, but I just wanted to let you guys know where I'm coming from in May. Like, this is the first month in like basically 2 years. I've been trying to get help up here in Oregon for 2 years. It was 2 years, May 7th. And, you know, my life has literally been at a standstill. My goals have evaporated before my eyes. And so now we're going to start resetting them. If you are in the Portland area, or even heading out further west, I will start putting up a link on the Instagram account. I actually am a partner with Hat Not Hate, you know, through Lion Brand and Shira. Like, I'm really excited. Like, we've been doing this since like the end of 2019. So I would really like for us to be able to get more hat donations where I work. That'll help create benefits for kids around us. I'll definitely be doing a different video about that. We also are partnered with the Oregon Food Bank as a drop-off center, so I definitely want to cover that too. So we do Hat Not Hate Wednesdays, and then we do Food Bank Fridays. They will have hashtags, and hopefully you guys will be interested in that. Some of the patterns that I have coming up soon, or even like project bags, or like the supply end of the fiber and supply, will actually benefit other Indigenous charities. There's about 3 or 4 that I donate to with regularity, and those will be on a rotation. So depending on the bag or the pattern, I will make sure to make note of that to you all on the Instagram posts, and then also like in the Ravelry store and on PayHip, just so that you guys know where it's going. And then quarterly we can go ahead and show, that way quarterly I can show you like, this is X amount of dollars, this is where it went. If you'd like to just help support my craft, I also have links on my link tree to an Amazon wish list. And there is also a Ko-fi account, which you're always welcome to donate to. I put random posts up there. Usually it'll be like a sketch or like some kind of update on something that I've been working towards. And usually those are for people who donate. So like sometimes I'll have some that are free access. Like as you come up, you'll be able to see some of the things that we've, that I've posted before. But for the most part, for a $1 donation or a subscription on Ko-fi, you'll definitely be able to see more content. And once there's actually more stability on that, I'll be more than happy to post more to that as well. So if Patreon's not your thing, but Ko-fi is, you know, I definitely want to, you know, reach out to you all. You know, it'd be nice to have some real community. So those are just kind of the things that are going on in the background. Depending on how vaccines are going, and a way to create a stable experience, I know that we would definitely like to be able to host some kind of retreat, maybe next year, next spring, just for some, you know, just because the Rona times have been crazy, in all manner of the experience. Like, my husband and I still have these conversations where we're just deep processing everything that we're seeing, and even the behavior of our customers has changed, and our employers, slowly it's changing, but definitely the language and the dialogue, and they come in more respectful, and they definitely leave more surprised when, you know, when told no. And right now it's important to set these boundaries. It's been important. My husband and I have always kind of run into these issues, and it's not to say that ours are, you know, more severe than others, but it's definitely nice to see. It's nice to see white folks taking a minute, the ones who truly care, and readjusting their course. I know, like, in my lifetime, in his lifetime, we're not going to see the amount of change that needs to happen, but it is nice to finally see it happening. I mean, that's just, you know, that's where it's at. If you've stuck around this long, I thank you. Hopefully this has been educational and entertaining. If it's been triggering, I'm really sorry. We don't really have any neighbors. We don't have anyone to talk to. Like, where we live is kind of isolated. And then with, you know, Corona times, we have not been able to really connect or meet with people. I mean, even before that, like, if you've ever lived in the Pacific Northwest, like, you'll totally understand what I'm talking about. People are like really hermit-like, which was like a real culture shock for us, because like we came, well, like, my husband is, you know, a Texas native, so like when we moved up here, like, we went from being able to hang out and hold community with people, and then came up to like nothing. Like, we literally talked to the birds in the backyard. Like, there's nothing. That's it. Like, we've started gaming so hard, like, and knitting and semi-hiking before my body really took a dump on me. So like the last 2 years have been really a wash. We've been stuck at home. I mean, even walking to my mailbox was a physical labor for me. So, you know, so we're doing what we can do. But this is just, like I said, this is just like an intro video, just to give you some backstory about who I am and what I'm about. You know, I'm not looking to like revolutionize the knitting world, but I definitely would like to know who you guys are. I have like 214 followers on Instagram, and I don't, you know, because of the algorithm and stuff, I'm not gonna pester you like to, you know, repost and save and whatever. I'm just gonna post my art. And if you want to come along for the ride, fantastic. If you love to support the ride, even better, because that leads to more things. I have there's a lot in here. I've gone from like 2 years of solitude to like finally physically able to do something about it. So, I mean, if you want to support, I really appreciate it. And if not, I understand. I know I'm not everyone's cup of tea, but anyway, I hope you guys all have a great day, and hopefully this video doesn't crash and burn and chase you all away. I would definitely like to do some other stuff with y'all on camera, and you know, we're getting the backyard ready, and hopefully we'll have you over, friend. Anyways, you know, have a blessed day, and keep knitting, keep crocheting, keep weaving, keep felting, you know, whatever your fiber fancy is, it's appreciated. Bye.